Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something called the daily pay trap. We're going to explore a really fascinating question. Why on earth might your decent income just not be enough to stop you from living paycheck to paycheck? It's super frustrating for so many folks, but the actual answer? Well, it probably isn't what you're thinking. I mean, seriously, why does your hard-earned money seem to just vanish? You put in the hours, you work incredibly hard, but the moment that cash hits your account, poof, it's gone, leaving you staring at your balance, kind of wondering if the problem is just that you aren't making enough. But what if your income level isn't the real issue here? What's really happening under the surface is that you're essentially borrowing from your future self. You get trapped in this relentless cycle, and it's driven entirely by a craving for instant gratification. It's basically an invisible debt, one you take on every single day without ever actually signing a loan document. So let's move into section one, your brain's ancient wiring, or what we can call the evolutionary financial trap. To understand what's happening in your wallet today, we literally have to travel back thousands of years. See, our ancient brains evolved in a super harsh environment where snagging immediate rewards was absolutely crucial for survival. Think about it. A berry in your hand right now was vastly superior to the promise of some massive feast tomorrow, because tomorrow might never actually happen. Tomorrow wasn't guaranteed, so your brain learned to seize today. And guess what? We still have that exact same hardwiring today. So, the real key here is understanding a concept behavioral economists call hyperbolic discounting. It's a heavy term, but basically, it's a cognitive bias where the value of a reward drops dramatically the further into the future it gets pushed. This exact bias right here is the reason saving and investing feels like a massive uphill battle. You're literally fighting your own psychology. To put that in perspective, imagine getting $100 today versus $110 tomorrow. Now, to your logical brain, the math is a no-brainer. Wait a day, get 10 extra dollars. But to your ancient, evolutionary brain, that $100 right now feels way more valuable and a sure thing. Your brain automatically discounts the future value simply because, well, it's in the future. All right, moving on to section two, the daily pay loop, and how modern apps weaponize those ancient instincts. This is where things get really tricky. Lately, all these modern services have popped up allowing you to access your earned wages way before your official payday. On the surface, sounds amazing, right? Total flexibility. But it usually creates a pretty ruthless cycle. You get paid daily, you spend daily, and then, suddenly, you need tomorrow's pay today. Boom. You're stuck in the daily pay loop, constantly borrowing from future you just to scrape by in the present. To really see this in action, let's look at Sarah. She's a young professional trying her best to save up for a house. Now, Sarah actually earns a decent salary, but she kept finding herself running short on cash right before payday. So she discovers one of these daily pay apps, figuring, hey, this will just help me manage my cash flow a little better. Well, here's what happened. Every few days, she started taking out just little chunks of her wages for some immediate relief. A daily coffee here, maybe a small utility bill there, or a quick night out with friends. And every time she tapped that app, the immediate relief felt fantastic. Her hyperbolic discounting bias was being fed perfectly by this technology. But wow, reality hits hard when actual payday rolls around. Think about what she originally earned for that pay period. Then subtract all those tiny micro withdrawals she took throughout the week. By the time her official payday arrived, those seemingly harmless little taps had completely eaten away her main paycheck. She totally wrecked her ability to build up that savings buffer for her house, all because she prioritized small immediate rewards over the long-term goal. Which brings us to a pretty tough question to ask ourselves. Is your present self robbing your future self of financial freedom? I know, it's a harsh reality to face, but acknowledging this internal conflict, this tug of war between the you right now and the you down the road, is absolutely the very first step to breaking the cycle for good. That brings us to section three, the future self protocol, or how to outsmart your own brain. Because once you actually see the trap, you can finally build a system to step right around it. The material we're looking at today outlines a brilliant future self-first protocol. Think of it as a psychological toolkit designed specifically to combat that hyperbolic discounting we just talked about. It's broken down into three clear steps: automating your future, creating a friction buffer, and visualizing your future self. Let's dig into these. Step one, automate. You've got to set up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts the exact second your main paycheck hits. Seriously, do not wait until the end of the month to see what's left over. By automating, you completely remove the decision making from your impulsive present self. Your future self gets paid before present you even has a chance to look at the money. Step 2 is creating a friction buffer. You want to introduce some deliberate friction between yourself and immediate spending. For example, introduce a mandatory 24-hour waiting rule for any non-essential purchase. See something you want? Cool, but you have to wait a full day to buy it. This cooling off period forces your brain out of that primal must-have berry now mode and gives your logical brain a chance to catch up. And step 3, visualize. You have to make the person you're saving for feel undeniably real. Try something like writing a letter to your future self 10 years from now. Ask yourself, what does their life look like? Where are they living? What are they worried about? By visualizing them, you shrink that psychological distance, which makes it so much harder to steal from them today. All right, our final section, breaking the cycle and taking action today. Now that we have the protocol, let's break down exactly how you can put this to work in your life. Here are 3 quick, actionable takeaways you can start using literally right now. 1. Delay your access to daily pay apps. If you absolutely have to use them, set strict, unchangeable limits on what you can withdraw. 2. Implement the classic envelope system for your main paycheck. Divvy up your funds into rigid categories the moment you get paid. And 3. Find a delayed gratification buddy. Partner up with a friend or mentor for accountability so you aren't trying to fight millions of years of evolutionary biology entirely by yourself. Remember, escaping this trap is not about blaming yourself for a lack of willpower. Seriously, stop beating yourself up over it. It's entirely about understanding your brain's natural tendencies. You just have to acknowledge your biology and implement the right systems to bridge that gap between today and tomorrow. So, I'm going to leave you with a final self-test. Take a close look at your recent habits. Are you consistently choosing a smaller, immediate benefit over a larger